in 3, 2, 1, go!
We're starting off match 5 here of playoffs, and this is the lower bracket, which means both alliances are fighting to stay in this competition for another chance at finals. We got plenty of teams busy scoring on that level 4 Reef. 2 algae up on the barge for red. That's going to bring red into the lead 62-61. Just a 1-point difference coming out of the autonomous period. The Red Alliance making a concentrated effort at algae into the barge in the beginning, bringing a total of 5 pieces of algae up in the Red Alliance net, while the Blue Alliance is a little more focused on the coral here in the early game. 2046 bare metal, unfortunately dropping a piece of coral, but they pick it right back up again with their floor intake, which lets them try again onto that level 3 branch. They get it off successfully this time, bringing the Blue Alliance score up to 102. Meanwhile, on the red side, they're continuing to work on that net, putting algae after algae up there. That was the Spartans machine, and now they're working on a bit of coral here, dropping off a piece of coral onto level 2, followed by another one. The field looking very clear of algae, just a few pieces here and there rolling around. And if you take a look at the barge, you can see why there's so many algae up on that Red Alliance net. Not to mention their reef also is looking very full. I count around 4 or 5 empty branches on that Red Alliance reef, which accounts for their impressive 178 score with around a minute left in the match. Blue, though, they're not outdone either. Their reef is also looking quite full. Miso Mechanics dropping off a piece of coral onto level 2, followed by their partners Bare Metal, who look to do the same. Now all they gotta do now is fill up that trough, picking up pieces of coral and dumping it into the trough for 2 points apiece for the Blue Alliance. Meanwhile, on the red side of the field, there's a couple of empty branches still available on that level 2. Just one more available. Let's see if they can fill up the entire reef in the remaining 20 seconds left in the match. Robots also starting to climb during this time, heading on over to the barges and hooking onto their deep cages, trying to get off the ground in order to score 12 points per robot as they climb up off the ground. 3 Red Alliance robots up in the air, 1 for Blue. We'll see how that match is called in a few moments. Scores coming up on the screen here for match number 5, going to the Red Alliance with a score of 255-208. Alliance number 8 moving on in our bracket, where we'll see them again in match number 10. Please join me in giving a big round of applause to Alliance number 5 for a well-performed weekend. Teams 1197, 9442, 2046, and 846. Now we'll head over to the desk to see what happened that match.
All right. Red Alliance takes it 255-209 on the side of that 5th seed. What did you guys think of the match?
Almost all of that difference in algae. Only 3 algae for the Blue Alliance and 13 for the Red. Just a couple early misses from Blue, and then they just went away with it and tried to focus on coral.
Yeah, you can see completely full reef by the Blue Alliance, but it was just that all that extra algae really put the nail in the coffin, and as well as those 3 robots climbing at the end. That makes a really big difference. It's hard to recover from that.
And Red Lions spending all their time on algae, so that's why they don't have all that many in L1, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the potential for doing it. They just had extra algae to play with.
Yeah, I think it's easy when you're playing these matches to get locked in on filling all of the spaces on the reef, but it's important to remember that those algae are worth as much as an L3 or an L4. So it's good to pivot and make sure you completely clean all of those options before you go back to the L2s and the L1s, which I think we saw here.
Yeah, I agree. Looking ahead to match 6, we have our 7th-seeded alliance over on red taking our 3rd-seeded alliance. Hopefully, the last match, our 7th seed dropped down after missing, I believe, a couple of algae into the net, really making it challenging to catch up to that 2nd-seeded alliance. What do you guys expect from these teams?
I'll be interested to see whether Blue, the number 3 seed here, has figured out how to get their alliance balanced to the point where they can start getting 94-50 to scoring coral, because they're very fast at it. But if they're just stuck on algae, it might limit what their alliance is able to do on the reef.
Yeah, I think on the Blue Alliance we have Chaos Theory 5468. They have an absolutely phenomenal all event, right? And I think in that first match we didn't see all of their full potential, and I expect that they've gone back and they've reviewed all of that, and they'll be able to pull all the pieces out to really put up a strong fight against this Red Alliance of 294, 1678, 4270. We talked a little bit about 4270 at the beginning of the match and at the beginning of the bracket, and I think that they're the ones with this bracket. 294, 1678, known quantities. 2470, year after year, they're always going to these high-level off-season events and practicing, and they take them very seriously, right? Like, Steve, I think you mentioned earlier that they have they've been going to IRI and they've been going to Chezy consistently for years, and I think all of that practice, and in addition to their normal in-scene competitions, has put them in a perfect place to be able to know how to properly execute on all of this.
And I think of the teams that are already in the lower bracket, the alliances that are in the lower bracket, the number 7 seed here had the best first match. They scored 255 and they lost on penalties. So the opportunity here to just run a clean match and continue in the elimination bracket.
Yeah, and I think 1678 really being the kings and queens and the royalty of pushing their way and making it happen, right? We see them 10 years on Einstein, they always kind of know how to make it happen. So looking forward to see what they can do in this match. We'll send it down to the field for match 6.